Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Snackbox. Hope you all are having an amazing day. Happy Friday, guys. And today we have some incredible news because there's gonna be a rebalance for two champions, and they're looking pretty good. All right, there we go. The first one, Bellatar Mage Slayer, a Void Legendary champion from the Ogrins, and he's HP based. So yeah, he has been in the game for quite a while. I pulled him on my free-to-play account for the free-to-play challenge, Hell Hades free-to-play challenge, and he's actually pretty good, right? He was pretty good. Now the thing is, he kind of didn't provide enough to be a insane reviver. So let's see if that changed now. All right, so the A1 attacks one enemy and has a 75% chance now of decreasing the cooldown of a random skill of the ally with the highest turn meter except this champion by one turn, and you can book it up to 100%. Alright, so every time he uses that A1, he's decreasing the cooldown of a random skill of an ally with the highest turn meter by one. That's an amazing A1. Before it was only 50% chance, now it's guaranteed, right? If you book it, 100% chance. That's pretty good. Now the A2 attacks all enemies. Everything is the same with the increased attack, increased defense. Also the heal stays the same. Now what changes is the turn meter fill by 20%. So there will be a turn meter fill by 20% as well on top on the skill, which is also pretty good. Oh yeah, his base speed goes up from 98 to 103. So it's not really the fastest, right? 115 is the fastest base speed we have in the game. So 103 is not really there, right? So yeah, I don't know if that is enough to make him, top tier. I don't think so, but let's keep on reading. Now, revives all their allies. That's the same. It's an AoE revive, right? And then what's new is that also places a block debuffs on all allies for 2 turns. So he's reviving and then placing a block debuffs on them as well. That is pretty interesting. I don't think we have a champion like this yet in the game with a revive and a block debuffs at the same time. And that could be pretty interesting for Chimera, for example, right? Now you have increased attack on him, increased defense, a heal, a turn meter fill, right? Which makes it easier to get more turns and so on. His A1 is decreasing cooldowns of an ally. When he's reviving, he's placing shields and block debuffs. So he's doing a lot of stuff now. So yeah, when I'm looking at champions now, I always think of Chimera, for example. Are they viable there? Or PvP, right? Are they doing enough to be viable for those areas of the game? And the passive now has a 75% chance instead of a 50% chance of decreasing all of an ally's skill cooldowns by one turn whenever they are revived. And this can be booked up to 100%. So every time he's reviving, if this is booked, the skill cooldowns of allies will be reduced by one turn. So he's not only doing it with the A1 now, he's also doing it when he's reviving, which is pretty amazing, right? He picks them back up, and then maybe the skills are ready to go again. And yeah, that's pretty cool. And also, that's also new. Once per turn, if an ally is killed, reduces the cooldowns of all this champion skills by one turn. So that is amazing. If you have, his revive on cooldown, a champion is dying, he will reduce that cooldown by one. And then if you have a reflex set on this champion, I think you can get that revive back pretty fast. So yeah, overall, I think this is an amazing rebalance. Definitely makes him better. Definitely makes him better in the role that he has as a reviver and support champion. Now, the thing is with revivers, usually you don't want them to be void affinity, right? For Arena, for example, because then he will never get weak hits. So that's kind of a bad thing for a reviver to be void affinity. But at the same time, I don't think many people will use him in Arena. I think he will shine more in PvE. But yeah, pretty amazing rebalance. I think, in my opinion, this champion is definitely better than before. And I think he's worth to be called, a void legendary champion now. So next in line is Narma, the returned legendary champion, Magic Affinity, support type champion from the Knights Revenant. And yeah, I have been trying to use this champion back when I pulled her in like 2022, and I mean she worked pretty fine, right? All I had to do is like take her to the dragon, for example, and she would will put out poisons and decrease attack and pretty much solo the boss. But now she, looks pretty damn amazing. Now let's take a look at the A1. Attacks one enemy, has a 50% chance of increasing the duration of all debuffs of the target by 1 turn. This can be booked up to 75%. That is absolutely amazing, right? Before, it was only a 60% chance to increase the duration of 3 random debuffs. Now it is 75% chance to increase all debuffs. Amazing for boss fights. This is huge. Let's take a look at the A2, attacks one enemy. So all of her attacks are single target attacks. That hasn't changed. A2 has a 75% chance of placing a decreased attack for 3 turns. And then also, this is new, has a 75% chance of placing a leech debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. And then instantly activates all poison debuffs on all enemies. Wow, that is amazing. Even though this is a single target attack, she will place the decreased attack on the initial target, but then place leech debuffs on everyone, right? And instantly activate poisons on everyone. Wow, this is amazing. On top of that, she will heal all allies by 25% of this champion's max HP. There's a 3-turn cooldown. This is an amazing skill, right? 2 debuffs, a heal, and poison activation. This could be a pretty good option now. Another poison champion for the Chimera poison trials on the Viper form. Looks like a pretty damn good candidate here to use her in Chimera now. Now let's keep on reading. The A3 is also single target attack. Has a 75% chance of placing 3 poisons and a poison sensitivity debuff for 3 turns. And if the initial target is already under 3 or more debuffs, places 3 poison debuffs and poison sensitivity debuff on all enemies for 3 turns instead. So that is also pretty cool, right? Now the last part here doesn't really matter too much for Chimera because you only have 1 target. But for dungeons, for example, I can see her soloing dungeons now. Yeah, I can see her soloing dungeons now. She has decreased attack, leech, heal, poison sensitivity, poison activation. So yeah, that looks pretty awesome now, and I think she can do it. Yeah, in the right build, I think she can solo the dragon, 100%. Maybe she can farm some other stuff as well. I don't know. Not the ice golem. Ice golem is immune to poison debuffs, right? So she will not be very good there. But I don't know. Maybe she can solo some other stuff as well with this AOE poison debuffing and then poison activation. Looks pretty amazing to me. If you ask me, this rebalance is amazing, and I think she's a very good candidate now for the Chimera Viper form trial because she's bringing decreased attack, leech, and poisons and activation and the poison sensitivity. So yeah, pretty amazing. And she places poisons for 3 turns, right? And she's increasing debuff duration with her A1. So yeah, pretty amazing to be honest. Let's take a look at the passive. This is also new. She didn't have a passive before. Whenever an ally is attacked, has a 25% chance of placing a poison debuff on the attacker for 2 turns. Alright. Whenever this champion is attacked, the chance increases to 50%. Wow, so that's amazing. That is incredible because she can definitely solo the dragon. I can tell. Like this is a no-brainer, right? Every time she gets attacked, she's placing poisons. So yeah, she can definitely solo the dragon, 100%. I don't know how fast it will be, but yeah, with this passive, I don't see why not. Enemies under poison debuffs inflict 5% less damage per each poison debuff on them. Stacks up to 25% if there are multiple champions on the team with this skill. Only one will activate So not only is she placing poisons with her passive when she gets attacked, the enemies are also dealing less damage for every poison. So, with a maximum of 5 poisons, the damage decrease will stack up to 25%. And that's a lot, right? Yeah, so she can definitely solo bosses 100%. And wow, what an amazing rebalance. I think this is the better one out of those two. Um, Not only is she, easier to get, I would say, even though the non-void pool is bigger, but I think, she will have more use in terms of soloing dungeons, soloing the dragon, and then also for Chimera. I can't wait actually to, for this rebalance to go live so I can use her in Chimera. This is an amazing rebalance for the Viper form trial. Amazing. Before that, we only had 2 other options that would do it fast enough. Those poison trials. That was Blar and then Theodore. And yeah, now we have Narma as well. So that is pretty damn amazing. So yeah, if we also take a look at the design of these 2 champions, I mean, man, look at this. This could, like, both of those champions could easily be, mythicals. Like, this is such an insane design, so many details on it. And yeah, she was just not performing as good as the design looks. So I'm pretty happy that they get some love, and they definitely deserve it. Like, look at Bellatar as well. He looks like a mythical champion too, with his glowing weapon, his golden armor, and yeah, they look so amazing, and they never really found their spot in the game, unfortunately. I mean, he kind of for faction wars, yes, he's probably the best reviver in there, but now he's even better, and he definitely deserved that rework. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. Let me know in the comments below, how do you feel about these rebalances? I'm super hyped about Narma, to be honest. With that being said, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to hit the like button. It really goes a long way. Also, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more raid content. The YouTube algorithm's gonna suggest you a video that you might like right here. And see you in the next one.